Hello and welcome to Thought for November the 2nd. Our readings are 2 Chronicles chapter 31, Daniel chapter 11 and Acts chapter 11 and 12. And our thought is, he shall come to his end with none to help him. The above words complete the chapter 11 that we read this morning in Daniel. It is a long chapter with a massive detail about events that were future from Daniel's time. We read yesterday of how an angel came to make you understand what is happening to your people in the latter days. We read in chapter 10, verse 14. And as a result, Daniel writes, I turned my face toward the ground and was mute. No breath is left in me. Verses 15 to 17. Today's long chapter details a great number of events, and some of the detail is remarkably accurate about events which happened in the centuries that followed. Skeptics express their conviction that the words must have been written after the events they predicted. While many verses are understood as foretelling events surrounding Antiochus Epiphanes and other warriors and leaders between 250 to 150 BC. When the Dead Sea Scrolls were found in the late 1940s and early 1950s, many skeptics were nonplussed that in 3 different caves, no less than 8 scrolls of Daniel were found. Before then, they had tried to reason that the Septuagint translation of the Old Testament into Greek must have been only just before the time of Christ. However, some Hebrew scholars dated the translation as early as BC 200. Naturally, the skeptics disagreed. What fascinates us is that the prophecy ends by reaching forward, as you read on into chapter 12, to the time when many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life. We read in verse 2. And this follows the time of the end that we read about in chapter 11, verse 40, and the description of a great battle in the Holy Land between armies from the north and south. This is seen to be the great day of Armageddon, described in Revelation chapter 16, verse 16. The king of the north wins, but only briefly. He shall pitch his palatial tents between the sea and the glorious holy mountain, we're told in verse 45 of chapter 11. But the verse and the chapter end dramatically with the words, Yet he shall come to his end, with none to help him. And chapter 12 begins by telling us that the archangel Michael arises, who has charge of your people. Daniel's people are, of course, the Jews, and there shall be a time of trouble such as has never been, we read. And today's largely godless world knows there are storms ahead, and the spirit today is as in Noah's day. Jesus put it this way, they were eating and drinking, and they were unaware until the flood came. Matthew 24 verses 38 and 39. So many will come to their end with none to help them, and as then, so today nearly all are unaware. They sense the world must be heading for a climax, but blindfold their minds to the reality of a wondrous creator of all that exists and that he has foretold this world's future. Well, thank you once again for joining us for Thought for the Day, where together we can open up the pages of God's Word, knowing that Word to be a lamp to our feet and a light to our path.